Hey, Jalen, if I can go a little off topic from football just for a second. I know you've grown close with Randall Cunningham, have a relationship with him. His daughter was recently in town, jumped in the pen relay, she won it. And I had a chance to ask him about the way you approach it. And he mentioned that he tries to use your calmness, your approach with his daughter in the Olympics. And when you hear something like that, what do you think?
I think that's what it's all about. For me, just trying to set a good example, the right example, and real competitors understand exactly what that is and what that looks like, and being able to talk to Randall, build that relationship with him, and as much as I admire him, for him to look at me as an example for his daughter, that means a lot, and that's. I mean, he has a family full of athletes, starting with him. So it's a great family, great man, and congrats to her.
What do you feel like you're? Last time we talked to you, you were talking about being in sponge mode with this offense. Where are you in that process now? Are you starting to get more vocal in what you need as well?
Yeah, I think this whole entire offseason, it's been about learning, um, learning, learning, and taking in the new knowledge, new perspective, and the minds that we have in the room. Um, And I think throughout the whole entire thing, that's kind of been the emphasis. You get to a point where you kind of feel, um, hey, I'm gonna feel comfortable with this. I'm gonna like this, but that time comes where you can rep it later on. But right now it's been a lot of new inventory in. Majority of it, probably 95% of it being new. And so it's just been that process, and it's been a fun process because you get to see what works for other people. And the number of coaches that I've had since I've been here, I've been able to take in a lot of new knowledge and new understanding. And so I think the goal coming in was to, learn Kellen's offense and master it. And I think that's been a process, and I think by the end of it, I want it to be mine, and have it in my own way. I think that's kind of a credit to, again, the lack of continuity with that, and it being a thing where I've kind of had to take all these new things and new voices and still go out there and be successful and efficient. And so I think that's exactly what's going to happen again.
95% is really high. You surprised it's that kind of wholesale change?
Well, no, I'm not. But I think bigger picture of football, a lot of things are similar, right? Like everybody, you can look on the internet and see, okay, well, these guys are running this play or whatever. But, you never know what that player is being coached to do. You never know how they're being taught to do it, how to execute it. And so that's exactly what makes it different. The X's and O's, the lines on the paper, they may very well be what they're supposed to be, but how I coach and how I detail these routes, how I coach the quarterback, what I want his timing to be, where I want him looking, where I want his eyes. Are receivers reading routes? Are they not reading routes? Are there alerts on this? Are there checks and adjustments built in on this? Or is it something that, someone has to do, the quarterback has to do? That's what makes a system a system.
What are your keys for digesting a new system and taking that ownership, like you said?
Yeah, just taking it day by day. I think there's a ton of good in all the reps that we got. Just going out there and competing and getting as close as we can to 11 on football. Obviously, just doing majority 7-on-7. But I thought it was a great time. I thought I had a great off season here, just learning and taking in everything. And now the next step is just to build and spend some of the time we're going to spend together in the off season, with the receivers and whatnot. But coming back to training camp, ready to go.
What stands out about this offense now that you've had some time to run it? What are the main takeaways of what you like?
Well, I think still early. It's still early. It's still early. I think just Kellen and Coach Doug have come in and been really structured, organized, had a plan from jump, and I think and hope that that's it'll be a big difference for us.
How much did having the minicamp help you? I mean, that's something you guys haven't done, since you've been here.
It's just extended a week. I didn't see any difference in what we did, the other days than this. So, it was something we did for the first time. It's great work.
Brought a couple veteran receivers in, Paris Campbell and John Ross. How have they looked to you getting used to this system?
I'm sorry?
Paris Campbell and John Ross, two veteran guys. How have they looked to you in getting acclimated to this new system?
They've been fine. They've been fine. Those are guys that have come in. They have talent. They've showed that talent since they've been here and where they've been before. So I think the ultimate thing in it is just we all need to kind of build that rapport with one another as time goes on. That's on both sides of the ball. We had multiple voices on both sides last year, on both sides of the ball, and now, we have made the changes we've made, and everybody has to learn those things and learn the way of our new coaches.
You mentioned it is eventually your goal to make the offense your own in a way. How have you seen Kellen and Nussmeier kind of present some things to you through the offense that kind of seem specific to what might be your eventual goal there?
It just comes with time. I think that's the overall goal. In the end, everybody in the building knows the game, knows who the game runs through. And so the goal of it is to learn as much as I can and, master and see how they, look at these plays and what's your intentions behind this. What are we trying to do? What are you coaching me to do? And then over time, it'll naturally take over itself.
At the end of last season,
time away over the next month and a half, time away from football?
I do.
What are the kinds of things that you do?
Not football stuff.
at the end of last season, you mentioned how every year presents its own different types of challenges in terms of leadership in the locker room. How are you approaching this new group of players and connecting with them?
I think that's something that happens very naturally too. I think every team is different. I think that's one thing that you can, you kind of hold on to so much. Every team is different, and I have the approach of treating every year like I'm a freshman, like I'm new to it, like I'm a rookie, and being diligent and patient in everything that I'm doing. And I think that requires you to learn the individuals that you're going to be going out there to bat with. See what they're good at, see what they're not. Just see where their head is, for better words, and get to know them. And so that consists of spending time in the summer, throwing, checking up on folks, and just building that rapport.
Speaking to us about mention the term. Sorry, you got something?
You've had off-season kind of workouts with various receivers before. Do you have anything planned for the summer?
That's a pretty standard thing.
And speaking to us, Doug used the term 2.3 seconds. Is that a phrase that's been used in the meeting rooms? And how does that compare to the clock you've used in the past?
In reference to?
To the structured chaos.
I assume not, because I haven't heard that before, so I don't know.
With Kellen Moore and Nussmeier, what do you connect with them through, like their knowledge of their both quarterback roles and things like that? How have you seen their knowledge, and what's that relationship been like so far?
I love the dynamic that has been put in place in terms of everybody has a role, and that's the goal. I think is everybody to do their job, and that goes for everyone. And so just learning as much as I can from coach, and Kellen is kind of a mild-mannered person where he's laid back, kind of bigger picture, has his hands on pretty much everything, and Coach Doug is all about just putting me in the best position to succeed and preparing me to play at a high level. And so just the conversations of learning, they've been around it for a good minute now, and got great experience in it, and calling plays and coaching quarterbacks, and I'm just there. I'm just there listening and taking in that knowledge. I've known Doug for a very long time, because he wanted me to come to Florida coming out of high school, kind of like Brian. So kind of similar there.
What
Take
have
two
you
more
noticed-
questions.
What have you noticed about, Nick being open-minded to change up the offense like he has? I mean, what does that say about him?
I mean, it's a great question. I don't know that I know the answer to it.
Well, what have you seen? What have you seen from him as far as doing that?
I think he's just, he's been great and, the messages he's delivering to the team. He's trying to be very intentional in what he's saying. And yeah.
Last one.
A couple of years ago, you talked about your relationship with Jonathan Gannett and your guys back and forth. Are you developing that with Vic, and what are your impressions of what he's been installing?
Yeah, no, yeah, he gives me a little. He talk a little trash sometimes, and I enjoy that. But I always remind him, against him. So, but no, he's been great. He's got him wired up. He has a great mentality on defense. Kind of old-fashioned, and we're just trying to get the hay in the barn, and prepare for what's to come, and just make sure we're peaking at the right time.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.